Coming to you from his downtown Denver studio, here's the Backstage Jazz Radio Show with your host, Steve Roby.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Backstage Jazz Show. I'm Steve Roby, and my guest today is five-time Grammy-nominated Djembist Weedie Braimah. Hello, Weedie, and welcome to Backstage Jazz.
Hello, Steve. How you doing today?
Great. Where am I reaching you today?
I am now I just landed from Rio de Janeiro. I had a concert in Rio with my good friend, Chief Adjua. And now I'm back in Cleveland, Ohio, where I teach at the Conservatory of Music, at Oberlin Conservatory of Music. I'm back here. Yeah, I'm back here. And then I'm back on the road where I'd have to do NPR tomorrow. So it doesn't stop.
Popular guy. Well, a five-time Grammy-nominated musician is something. Your bio says that you were born in Ghana, raised in East St. Louis, with deep roots in New Orleans, and you were first introduced to West African culture and drumming and began performing, believe it or not, at the age of 2. Tell me that story.
Well, okay, that's kind of interesting because my mother and my father are both musicians. My father being a Ghanaian drummer and composer for my crowd, Djembist Weedie Braimah. My mother being a Ghanaian, a straight ahead drummer, Ann Morris, who has lineage and family roots from New Orleans. Her father, which my namesake is Weedie Morris, which his name was Weedie Morris, was from New Orleans, from the Uptime area. So Weedie had 10 brothers and sisters. 5 of them were drummers, the youngest being a gentleman by the name of Leo Morris that the world knows as Idris Muhammad. So between that and my mother being a drummer, my grandfather being a drummer, and my father being a drummer, and being in a family of drummers on my father's side, which I'm like 111 generation of musicians, of drummers. Yes, I had no other choice, either be a cook or a musician. So so I started playing around 2 with my father's band, Bantuku. He had a band, and that was the band that implemented and infused traditional West African music, high life, akbala, different forms of Ghanaian music at the time, with straight ahead jazz and funk and fusion. His dream was basically the same thing I was doing now then, but he was like a forward thinker. His brain was like thinking of the future at a certain time. Mm-hmm. So that's it, man. That's really it, Yeah. But interesting enough, the instrument that I play doesn't come from Ghana.
Where does it come?
It comes from Mali. Is the roots of this instrument comes from the ethnic group of the Manding that you can find throughout West Africa, but the home of it is in Mali. From one of my teachers. Yeah.
Okay. Who were some of your musical influences other than your parents?
Great question. I would have to say people like Yusundu, Baba Mal, Mamadi Keita, Olatunji, of course. My uncle Idris Muhammad.
That's a pretty good list so far.
It's really, it's really interesting because a lot of the people, I grew up in the folkloric world. So growing up in the folkloric world, I love listening to folkloric music, whether it was from the Manding perspective. Also, matter of fact, I was going to say, funny enough, oddly enough, one of my mentors and one of my heroes in playing djembe actually used to live in Denver. He was a great djembe fola by the name of Abdul Doumbia.
Okay. Abdul
Doumbia is a teacher, preserver, historian, and this a spiritualist and an amazing musician that Denver and Boulder had right there. And I think he's still there. I think he might even be there when I come, and I'm going to invite him to perform with us.
All right.
Which is an amazing. Yeah. So he's an amazing musician. So yeah. So shout out to him. But between those people, artists from Los Muñequitos de Matanza, Afukuba de Matanza, and the list goes on, dealing with music of the diaspora and folkloric music, and certainly artists that were able to blend the narrative of folkloric music into futuristic music and to make it into a new sound. Those were the people that I really listened to, that were able to be the conduits and those vessels that are able to change a narrative.
Great.
That's me. Yeah, that's just me.
That's the DNA of you.
That's the DNA of me,
Why don't we talk about your current release, The Hands of Times? What can you tell our listeners about this album?
This album, I have to say, I've recorded with a lot of people, and this album was my true child being born. It was also showing the people that the narrative must be changed about how we announce, articulate, and how we define musicians from a diasporic and a folkloric way of life. Basically saying, a lot of people see me and they immediately call me a percussionist, because I play hand drums and, and I understand that. That's the vernacular we use with English. But my main goal is to show people that this instrument and what I'm doing with this instrument, no, not a percussionist, I'm a djembe. Now, if you understand what a djembe is, then you start understanding what the concept of what I mean. We always look at how I always try to define of saying to desegregate the drum. Always saying I'm the drummer and he's the percussionist. Mm. And that's what this album is talking about, is desegregating the drum in a way where you're using this instrument as the leader. It's the melodic structure, and it's the understanding of that this diasporic music will live and maintain a certain narrative that will never die. So this album is basically talking about the importance of folkloric music and its history in American music that stays alive today. You cannot separate the mother from the child, as I say. Right. African music has been in this country for years. Straight ahead contemporary, whether you call it jazz, I don't like using the word, but whether you want to call it jazz or whether you want to say what it is, this form of music has a base in African culture, which is alive and well.
Right.
And this album is talking about that, is that you need to start to the root to go to the future. Yeah. And as a djembe that's been both in the traditional world, the modern world, the straight ahead vernacular, the hip hop vernacular, using the instrument that you wouldn't be commonly used and seen in the West. That's what this album is about. Being able to touch all those genres and all those areas and become a vessel to say that this instrument has this time and this place in every genre of music.
Great.
That's what the Has a Time is about. It's being able to stretch the limits of what you can do with an instrument that you only saw in a traditional category or in a traditional way of life, or as for 5 seconds in a solo in a song or at a drum circle or something like that.
Well, let's play a track from the album now. This one's called Ships Come In. What's the backstory on this song?
Ships Come In is the first single that came out with my brother, Chief Zion Atunde Adjua. Matter of fact, this album was done off his label, Stretch Music. To me, my brother is probably one of the greatest trumpeters of our time from all the albums he's done, along with Elena Pendahughes and along with my guest, So. This song actually was an ode to my mother. The song talks about, she said, your time is coming, your ship will come in. Keep doing what you're doing and utilizing having that instrument as your passport to the world. Mm. You'll be amazed what a piece of goat skin and wood could do for your life. So there was an ode to her. Yeah.
Well put, well put. Let's listen to it now. This is called Ships Come In, here on Backstage Jazz. This is Backstage Jazz, and my guest today is Weedie Braimah. The next track I'm going to play off the album is called Weedie Foley. Have I got the title right?
Yeah. You did good. You did really good, Steve.
I've been practicing all night.
Very good. You've been practicing
all night.
You've been practicing.
I was up
that's good. That's good.
Tell me about this one.
Okay, Weedie Foley. It's an interesting story behind this. Weedie Foley, as I can say, this album was recorded in many different places throughout the planet. As we recorded in Cuba, we recorded in France, we've recorded, of course, the United States, and we recorded throughout West Africa. One of the countries we recorded in West Africa was the great country of Mali. As I talked about, the instrument that I play is indigenous to Mali. Its home and its roots is in Mali. So while I was in Bamako, I was recording this project and started recording with this project with some of the top djembe folers from that country. And some of the artists on that album are like the leading artists in their craft. Some of those artists were shocked that they were all playing together and being in the room at one time. So shout out to Basidi Kone, Petita Damajara, Lasana Jabate, Madu Sidiki Jabate, as well as Sharice Sumano, Lamin Tunkara, Karim Koulibaly, Nigel Zununga, Papis Jabate. All of these artists are Sheikh Jallo are amazing musicians, as well as the singers on there. Maimouna Youssef, who sung the hip hop phrase on there. It's amazing that when we did this album, it was the first time that we were able to blend the worlds. We was able to blend the worlds. Like, you wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to do that in other phases. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's really unique is that when we did it, we were in the studio, and I had all the drummers in there, and I was saying, I got this rhythm, and I was showing them the rhythm. Now, these musicians have been playing this music all their lives. They grew up playing this. And so I'm showing this rhythm. They say, what rhythm is this? Is it maraca? Is it sigandi? I said, no, it's not none of those rhythms. I said, what rhythm? Where's it from? Oh, it's from my village. Oh, it's from Ghana. And I said, no, it's from East St. Africa. And they said, oh, it's in Ghana? I said, no, that's in East St. Louis. And they was like, oh, okay. And I said, yeah. So then they were asking me, oh, I get it. This is not a traditional, this is your music. I said, yeah, this is the first rhythm that you can dance on any side of the rhythm and you will be considered correct.
All right. What a great intro. Let's listen to the track now. It's called Weedie Foley here on Backstage Jazz.
everything. This is their ancestral memory, Djembe. From Attica to Africa, they count our rhythm per capita. They cut off our hands so we couldn't drum. They cut off our feet so we couldn't run. We made up the beast with our tippy tongues. The weedy foley on that djembe drum. Give us free like singing. In the streets singing them malinking.
Djembe fuli be kuala, weedie fuli be kuala, wila na donke, abe wila na donke. Weedie djembe fula ko, kala na fuli be dunia djembe fula
Weedie, are you working on any new recording projects for this year or next year?
Actually, yep.
Yeah,
for next year. Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of little hidden tricks that we got. Working on the next album, working on a couple of things that I think this next album, I'll talk a little bit about it, not too much. Will be more personal, about trials, tribulations, overcomings, understanding how to defeat things that you've been fighting and understand that you can make it and triumph over certain things.
All right.
So it's different. It's going to be different than the last album, but it will definitely be, the voice of the album will always be the djembe. Every album that I ever do for the rest of my life, the voice of the album will be the instrument, the folklore component of it. It would never change.
All right.
It will never change.
Have you got a working title or a release date in mind?
Well, the release date, no. Working title, yes, but I can't tell you that. It would be like, yeah. Well, you know, we've been working. Actually, funny enough, there was a lot of songs that didn't make it on this album that will be on that one.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a lot of amazing guests. Mm-hmm.
Would it be safe to say that it's coming next year? Yeah, I'm just doing my job as a journalist, Judge.
I know you're doing your job, and you're doing a great job, Steve. It's amazing, but I can't get that much wood to the fire.
Sometimes top secrets get shared.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you this much. I will be singing more on this album.
Okay. Are you going to give us a little sneak preview at Dazzle?
Actually, yeah.
All right.
We are playing one of the songs at Dazzle that actually didn't make it on this album.
Okay.
That will be on the next one. Absolutely.
Well, great.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this, Dazzle, and the good people at Dazzle, if you're not there to dance and enjoy yourself, and to be free, then don't just go. Then you might want to go home and stay and watch a Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But if you want to dance, be free, have a good time, be edutained, then I think that Dazzle will be the spot for you. And the gentlemen that are coming are looking forward. It's a very special band. It's an 8-piece band that visually you have never seen anything like this. I mean, we don't use your regular visual setup that you would use, certainly with the drums. We don't use a regular drum set. We don't use majority of things that is not regular. It's a very unique, eclectic band. Very special.
Let's remind our listeners, you have 2 shows coming up on Sunday, November 5th, one at 5 p.m. and the other at 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
Doors open an hour before. I would say go get your tickets if you're listening to this now. Go get your tickets now because they go fast. It's a very intimate club. Tickets are available at dazzledenver.com. Go now and get in line early. Who can you tell us who's going to join you on stage?
So I'll tell you the show, the lineup, and I'm so honored to have these musicians. I have on guitar, I have Sam Dickey, who was the musical director for Fatoumata Jawara on her touring when she tours America. I have Raja Kassis, who's also been the musical director for a lot of Senegalese artists like Fatou Gewel, Ndeye Marie Gaulo, the Divas of Senegal. I have Shekin Doy, who's currently the musical director for Baba Mal. I have Munir Zaki, who is the percussionist for Erykah Badu. I have Luke Horanta, who is the leader and the creator of the band Toubab Crew. I have Shea Pierre, who is one of the voices of the legendary voices of piano of straight ahead jazz vernacular. And I have Courtney J. Mel Smith, which is the heartthrob and the producer genius from St. Louis, Missouri. So I have an all-star cast along with little old me. That'll be assisting. That is the heart of the band, not just assisting, but that is the heart of the band. Because without them, there would be no album and there would be no me.
That's going to be one.
So yeah, I'm very honored to have those amazing musicians, and they're all legendary and true kings of their craft. And they're all good people, and they all love to have a good time and make you dance. Please be ready to enjoy a party and a happening night.
I can't.
Like
wait.
I said, if you ain't ready to have a good time and to be edutained and dance and think and cry and smile and laugh, all the emotions, you might want to watch Game of Thrones, which is Sunday.
No. Don't do that. Go get your tickets now. Sunday, November 5th.
Go get your tickets now.
Go get your thing at dazzledenver.com. It's Sunday, November 5th at 5 p.m. and the next show at 7:30 p.m. Doors open 1 hour before showtime. Last question for you, Weedie. Where can I send our listeners to learn more about your music and upcoming shows?
You can go to all the streaming areas. You can follow me on weediebraimah.com, or you can go to all my socials, Weedie Braimah official on Instagram, Weedie Braimah on our fan page, and the same all the beautiful things. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Okay.
Just Google Weedie Braimah, you'll find it.
You're there. Okay, well, thanks for your time. Thanks for your time today, Weedie, and have a great show at Dazzle. Can't wait to have you in Denver.
I'm looking forward to it. See you guys soon. Dazzle, Denver. See you soon.
The Backstage Jazz Show was recorded at Little Raven Studios in downtown Denver, and our producer was Craig Stevens. You can find Backstage Jazz wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to stop by our website, backstage-jazz.com, where all past and current episodes have been archived. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at backstagejazz@fastmail.com. This is Steve Roby. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Backstage Jazz.
You've been listening to the Backstage Jazz Show. Join us next time for more great jazz and interviews with your favorite musicians.